In an earlier video, I shared an experience when I was a Boy Scout, and we were making a trip to Philmont, the National Scout Ranch in New Mexico. And I was telling about how, we went out to break some trail, and this huge storm came, and we were forced to flee to our tents. But actually, there was something that happened before that. When we first came to camp, we built a fire. I don't even know now why we did it. Maybe it was to fix lunch. But in any case, we built this fire. We went out to break trail. The storm came. We went running back to the fire. I don't know, but that's where we went. We didn't go to our tents. We went to this fire that was now smoldering, and we began to try to revive it. And I remember we stood in a circle around this thing, and we all extended our ponchos over it. And we took turns diving down and breathing, onto the coals. And the smoke inhalation was terrible. And after about 10, 15 minutes, we managed to revive the fire. Just at that point, another troop came in, and they had a scout who was in probably the second degree of hypothermia. We were able to get him next to that fire to warm him up, and they were able to go on to wherever it was that they were going. And as I look back on that experience, I just have to believe that God was using our efforts to revive this fire for a larger purpose, and it was clearly to help this kid. And now as I look at this coronavirus thing, and we're all hunkered down at home with extra time, I think the same thing is at work. I think that God is going to use this thing for greater purposes. So I think maybe, you're at home, lots of extra time with family, and so maybe there's a relationship between you and someone else in your family that needs reconciliation. And maybe God's going to use this time to broker that reconciliation. Or maybe things are basically okay with everyone, but there's a shallowness to a relationship. And so God uses this time to enhance that relationship, to bring it into a much fuller, joyful level. Or maybe God's going to use you outside your family to bring good to somebody else that you can't even see right now. In Romans 8:28, Paul writes, and we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good. That's not just true for Paul in first century Rome. That's true for us in the COVID-19 pandemic.